Alrighty then. This isn't a webbot hit necessarily because this hasn't actually happened. However, some website is posting it to let us know that should this event happen, it could cause extinction level events according to them. I'm not sure if I'm going to go that far, but the key word here was rivers in the sky. Rivers in the sky with diamonds. No, just kidding. Title: Giant rivers in the sky could cause vast extinction level floods. Atmospheric rivers have claimed their first victims, according to this. Posted December 15th, 2016. Now I'm over here looking at a webbot report, May of 2016, that talks about this. Okay? But before I get into that, Big Swear, roadtoruta.com, has noticed something very interesting with the Economist magazine cover of 2017, The World in 2017. And that is, the online version has now changed. They have changed one thing in here. I want to share that picture with you from his website. The second one, Judgment, on the left, right above my bald head, Donald Trump. Remember that one? That's how it's been the whole time since they've released it. And over here, you see the other one. The only thing that has changed, again, Judgment, now it has an American eagle with the white, at least the red and white colors on the actual bird itself. Judgment. So what is this? Why did this change? What does it mean? Now, when I look at the top, as far as what the, saying such and such on page 150, Justin Trudeau, I've noticed that Sadiq Khan, London Post Brexit, is missing. That guy's gone now, off the other cover. And they've added someone, TSAI, I think that's ING, Wen, Say, Ing, Wen, Tigerish Taiwan is the name of that one. I'm not sure which page it is, but this is obviously articles people have written inside this or for this magazine. I went back and forth looking like left and right to see if any little card, any little thing changed on these cards, these tarot cards, whatever. And I don't see anything, like even a little tiny little minuscule change. I don't see anything. I like looked, just don't see anything different except the Judgment card with Donald Trump on there at first, and now all of a sudden he's gone and there's an eagle. I thought, well, was that the phoenix? No, not the phoenix. That is a bald eagle. The white hair, whatever you want to call this top piece, neck and head, that is a bald eagle. Again, what is our country, mascot, if you will? The bald eagle. Don't know what to make of this. Just want to share it with you before I get into this webbot report. Update or some, not even, this ain't no summary. This is just a little update on what I think may be coming because there's already articles on it now. So I'm going to start by reading this particular article. And I found this on a site. Someone actually sent this to me in an email. It says the research has been published in Proceedings of the Royal Society B. And it is it's an organization, .org. I just haven't heard of this particular website. It's not like one of my sources that I've ever seen or run across, but they are linking to a legitimate site about this. So I'm going to go ahead and read this, and then I'm going to get into the webbot report that talks about this, and I'm going to search other reports after May, because I searched before that from November of last year, and I want to see if any other contain it. And I'll just pause this video as I'm searching, and when I find it, I'll come right back, so you won't even really notice that any time went by. So it says, giant rivers in the sky could cause vast extinction level floods. Atmospheric rivers have claimed their first victims by the BEC crew, 15th of December 2016. Atmospheric, rivers, narrow corridors of concentrated moisture suspended in the atmosphere, were responsible for the mysterious mass die-off of wild Olympia oysters in San Francisco Bay in 2011, scientists have now found. This is the first documented case of these rivers in the sky. Keyword he used, okay? Rivers in the sky. the interesting thing is Webbot, I think, was using the term lakes in the sky as opposed to rivers in the sky. But anyways, this is the first documented case of these rivers in the sky, which can hold 15 times more water than the Mississippi River, directly harming an entire population, and they're expected to increase in frequency, intensity, and unpredictability as the global climate warms. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, maybe, well, this already happened in 2011, apparently. That's responsible for the oysters in San Francisco Bay. Therefore, it happened first. Webbot said it later. It doesn't count. The way the Webbot works, it's not going to go off of one single little event that people were talking about online like that when they didn't even know that that was the cause till way afterwards anyways, and say, okay, I'm pulling that across. That is a potential hit in the future. If it did, it would have been published sometime in 2011, the Webbot report, sometime in 2012, maybe a year later, right? It was never, ever reported back then. It was earlier this year now, 2016, maybe 2015. I don't have those Webbot reports in front of me, but I've got these November of 2015, and then I've got the rest of 2016 in front of me, and I've searched the first few months. I didn't find that word or that particular Webbot piece in there about the rivers dumping from the sky until I got to May. I have not even begun to go further down, excuse me, but I'm going to do that as I pause this video in a minute once I'm done reading this article and reading you this piece of the Webbot report. So, extreme events are predicted to be more prevalent under climate change, the University of California Davis team reports. We highlight a new mechanism by which precipitation extremes appear to affect a sensitive species, contributing to the near 100% mass mortality of wild oysters in northern San Francisco Bay. If you're not familiar with the natural phenomenon of atmospheric rivers, they're relatively narrow regions in the atmosphere that are responsible for most of the horizontal transport of water vapor outside the tropics. These suspended moisture plumes are on average 400 to 600 kilometers wide, and in California they can deliver up to half the state's annual precipitation in just 10 to 15 days. While most atmospheric rivers are mild, the ones containing the largest amounts of water vapor and the strongest winds can create extreme rainfall and floods, inducing catastrophic mudslides and drops in salinity. So that's a piece of this article. I've said enough to where I want to talk about the Webbot now. So all of a sudden, this is on the radar. This is becoming an issue. We need to pay attention to this. That's what they're saying. Okay. So I'll go back to the Webbot report. It starts off in this particular section. It starts on page 8, May 2016 Webbot report, at the very bottom. A new and significant set within the weather banding is pointing toward bizarre effects to be seen in the air as the atmosphere changes. These changes are, for the next few years, going to be providing much more water in the atmosphere. The saturation rate is showing as altering such that more water than we could have thought possible will be hanging about in the upper atmosphere. Note that the data shows it hanging around until triggering conditions will cause the lake to dump from the air. The data is forecasting that several towns or villages and even regions will be scrubbed away as the lakes dump onto the ground below. While the mysterious images high in the sky will be gathering much discussion, the data is indicating that the deadly lakes part of the process is going to be such a severe danger that actions will be taken. The actions are showing as including cloud seeding as well as artillery shells being shot into the threatening clouds and even some electromagnetic ray machines. All of this in an attempt to get the danger in the sky to dispense the lake on some other ground. The atmosphere changes are not only forecast to be visual, but we also have continuing growth in the sets for density pockets where the atmosphere has differing qualities such that planes fall and aerodynamics don't work. Yeah, listen, about that ultralight I was telling you about, two-seater I'd like to get if I ever got rich one day. Oh, wait a minute. They do have ballistic parachutes. Never mind. The data sets are pointing toward a combination of upper, dense air masses and lower pockets of less dense air that will be obstacles for the planes The image coming out of data is that the planes attempt to drop altitude to avoid the dense turbulence and fly into a pocket of less dense air and fall like bricks. These and other new data sets are describing a climate producing new physical effects across many months as the atmosphere is forecast to react to the electromagnetic changes in Earth. So I'm going to now search for some more in other reports, so stand by just a second. All right, so the next month didn't have one, so I'm up to August right now, 2016, and I found it again. Other sets in supporting positions for rains are again pointing to the ringing of the clouds into a deluge, which is indicated to cause several miles of train tracks and supporting infrastructure to be washed away, and he says from a hillside, and end up in another country near the coast. These rains destroy trains sets are growing as though a major and wide meme is developing. The rains destroy sets have the largest levels of growth within trains, being but one, albeit in eye-catching, of many within the sets of destruction. There are even sets that are growing with aspect/attribute sets for boats that will be sunk by rains. Other areas to receive these destroying rains include sports stadiums and port buildings, maybe airports, he says. Many other buildings and structures are described as being flooded out or washed away. These destroying rains are slightly different from the lakes in the atmosphere in that the rains are described as being wind-driven and cumulative over time, in the sense of rain clouds keep coming, bring more rains, in a flowing river in the atmosphere. So now we have the word, as I just described in that article, where he said rivers, raining down on us, in a flowing river in the atmosphere is now in this report. So whereas previous ALTA reports had lakes in the atmosphere, which would dump out their volume in short periods, these new destroying rains are as though the rivers in the atmosphere have a specific point at which they are dumping their volumes, so the effects will be as though a river suddenly appeared and swept everything away. Most of the geographic associations for these data sets have northern hemisphere place names. However, a significant number of those are also shared south of the equator. The pace of changes affecting the planet are forecast to increase to the level of being weekly felt by a very large portion of the global population. The sets forecasting this are suggesting that our conversations over the rest of this year and the next year will take a turn where, if we go back and examine them later, we will find that our weekly discussions included mention of those earth changes that personally impacted our lives. The forecasts are bringing up the language that we are going to be using, and these include earthquakes, tornadoes, yet more floods, especially those that move houses and shift populations locally. Many of these sets include the mountains of Central Europe and mountains of France. There are new earth changes sets that are forecasting a brief and way early dip. I want to get into this one because this is happening right now. One little couple sentences here. There are new earth changes, and this is right after this, by the way. There are new earth changes sets that are forecasting a brief and way early dip straight into winter as snow and freezing temperatures will be headlines for many places across the northern hemisphere in September. Now, I just read, and I understand it did say September, so October, November, December, we were talking 2.5 months ago, right? We were having cold early, by the way, during September in certain places. So that's already a hit, in my opinion. Now, I said to you the other day, I read a story twice now, 32 degrees below the normal temperature it should be. I don't remember what state or what region of the U.S. it was in, but that's what the headline was. I just read today, and I'm going to see if I can find it real fast. 50 degrees below where it should be right now. Stand by. Let me see if I can find this real quick for you. Well, just doing a quick search, thinking I'd be able to find it real quick. Not happening. I don't know why. I should have just sent the email to myself. But two mainstream sites, okay? One of them is your favorite, the Washington Post, right? Favorite propaganda agency as far as news goes. The other one is KTUU, one of these, this is Anchorage, Alaska. This was posted December 4th, by the way, this year, 2016. Below average temperatures expected through December. And they're saying below, but this is Celsius, I guess, 1.5 degrees Celsius. Actually, I don't know. Let's see. Last week, the Climate Prediction Center adjusted its December forecast for much of the United States, including Alaska. The current weather pattern of Arctic high pressure over the state is bringing cold temperatures to most of the mainland area. This dramatic drop in temperatures will likely pull the monthly temperature average below normal. Trying to see if we have an actual amount for Alaska. The first 10 months of the year put the state in line for having the warmest year on record, with an average temperature of 36.3 degrees, which is 6.7 degrees Fahrenheit above normal. But it's saying, doesn't give an actual temperature actually on this particular page. But this other one, WashingtonPost.com, was posted December 15th. So that's Friday, last Friday. Coldest December night in years, with slight temperature moderation Friday. Winter storm watch for northern Maryland, counties, whatever. Today was about as brutal as it gets around here in December lately. Unfortunately for weather stats aficionados, high temperatures occurred last night near midnight, so today's mid-20s during the midday and afternoon won't be remembered in this historical record as being particularly remarkable. But we'll have the chance to make a little history tonight, and it's another cold one tomorrow. Anyways, this is just news articles about we're having colder temperatures than normal. That's what came up when I was searching to try to find this one particular article, to find out where specifically was it 50 degrees below where it's supposed to be right now. That's what I want to find. I cannot find the dang thing. And I don't even know where the heck I found it. But anyways, we've already seen this. The other ones I was telling you about, 36 degrees below normal. I read those articles. Again, I don't remember. This was a few weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, I think. I don't remember which states or what region of the U.S. those were in. But I am paying attention to this stuff, and sometimes people will send me stuff, email, hey, check this out. Didn't the webbot say this? And I'll look it up. Yeah, you know what it did. I think I need to do a video. So this is one of those times. Rivers dumping out of the sky, lakes dumping out of the sky, and we now have an article that was just posted or published that this is becoming a thing we need to start looking out for because it's going to cause problems. And some of these there are articles saying it caused extinction and level events. And then you read the webbot report, and that's what it's describing. Towns and houses and things being just as if a running, raging river fell out of the sky, washed everything away, and then it's over. Have a nice day. Where did all the houses go? Where did everything go? Oh, they're downstream, except there's no stream. It just got created because it dumped out of the sky. So if you were to see that kind of stuff happening, it wouldn't surprise me at all to see the government, and it would be local for the most part, like they do now in states that get a lot of snow when there's a lot of skiers, or there's a town below mountains that get a lot of snow and they don't want an avalanche to happen. They fire off charges, those what are those damn things called? You drop the little thing in the tube and it shoots out, and it goes over there and explodes. I can't think of the name of it. I was almost about to say depth charge. No, bozo Joe, that's underwater depth charges. But you know what I'm talking about. And they do that now. So would it be too far stretch of the imagination to say, oh, well, these clouds are holding so much precipitation that if they let loose and they're heading towards such and such city currently, we need to knock those things out. We're going to shoot something in there to literally explode the cloud and let it dump now. Or maybe they'll have some kind of material, like they were saying cloud seeding, where they can do like an extra seeding of that, storm cloud, whatever it is, to force it to take even more water and then dump out now. It's okay, it's over water, let it loose now somehow. I don't know. But that's what they're doing with the snow. They've been doing that for years. I wouldn't think at all that they couldn't do something like that for clouds to get them to, end up dumping down somehow. That way they don't build up massively and wash freaking places away. So this, I believe, looks like we're ending our webbot hit. I mean, they're talking about it. Haven't had any more situations where we've heard about this washing away anything. We haven't heard about a big giant rainstorm cloud that washed away a town yet. But we do have articles now being posted about it. We also have articles now saying, hey, look, temperature is way below normal for this time of the year. We don't know what's happening. So that in and of itself, you could say, is a web hit. I've already discussed that in other videos saying, hey, 36 degrees. Now it's here again. I saw a 50-degree thing today. I'm not sure why I did not send that to myself. But anyways, that's it. Take care.